Good morning and welcome to 10-Minute Wellbeing Tips for Managers. It's always good to see everyone here today. Let's get started. Jen, you got to advance the slide. So actually, that'll be a good time for me to introduce you to Jennifer Salaveri. I would love to see everybody's cameras on. Happy to have you here regardless, but the fact that there's only a few of us that have our cameras on makes it easy to point Jen out. Jen is a licensed clinical social worker. She's also a certified mindfulness instructor and a member of the Office of Wellbeing. She's joining us today for a topic on mindfulness. And last week we discussed peer support and we had Shavis joining us. Today we're going to focus on mindfulness and how it can improve or help our team well-being. Next slide. In 2004, Mark Bertolini, the CEO of Aetna, was injured in a horrible ski accident. He actually skied into a tree. And if that wasn't bad enough, after he made contact, he managed to fall down into a ravine and land in cold water, where he waited until he was rescued. As a result, he had several bones like vertebrae that were fractured, and it was possible that he could have been paralyzed. He had a lot of pain, was given a lot of physical therapy over a long time, and he got despondent. And he actually thought of committing suicide by driving into a bridge abutment. Fortunately, a police officer pulled over and saw him. And anyway, he used mindfulness and yoga as a therapy and was able to decrease his pain medicine and get better on that path. And as a result, he began to offer Aetna employees mindfulness resources. And now today, companies like Google, Apple, and Nike also, and Johns Hopkins Medicine offer mindfulness resources. So I'm going to turn it over to Jen for the next bulk of slides.
Thanks, Dr. Safir. So as managers, you're in a position where you're responsible for both supporting the well-being of your team members and also ensuring that those team members are able to carry out their functions to the best of their ability to support the overall mission of the larger organization. And at Johns Hopkins, we really pride ourselves on being a world-class leader in medical care. So it's really important that our employees are able to be at their best so that we can live up to this reputation that we've cultivated. Now, there are a lot of potential benefits to practicing mindfulness that can improve our experience at work. And I couldn't list them all, but I know that when I practice mindfulness during my work day, I move through the day much more intentionally. I feel much less scattered, and I end the day feeling much less stressed out. And I'd love to hear in the chat if any of you practice mindfulness during your workday, what benefits you notice. But at the end of the day, just know that using mindfulness as a tool at work can help make us all better leaders, better managers, and better employees. So we all know that stress impacts our health. And research tells us that employee stress not only negatively impacts the individual employee, but it causes a cascade effect. So when an employee's health is suffering, they start to call out more frequently. They're late. They become less focused, making more mistakes. They're overall less efficient, less productive, and they may even start to have challenges with some of their other team members. So helping employees learn how to manage stress is really, really critical. Now, most people these days are drawn to mindfulness practice because of their desire to better manage their stress. And research also tells us that mindfulness practice can help improve almost every system in our bodies. So as you look at this list and consider if you or perhaps members of your team may struggle with any of the issues here, please know that mindfulness can help. So then the question is, what is it? Why is everybody talking about it? What is it? So simply put, mindfulness is bringing our attention to the present moment, to what is happening right now, not what has happened and not what might happen, which is where a lot of us spend a lot of our time, and that creates a lot of extra stress for us. So then the next question is, well, how can paying attention and being aware help with things like focus or efficiency? How can it help decrease my anxiety or my stress? Well, let's consider a scenario. Have you ever found yourself with a lot to do? Maybe it's Monday morning, the beginning of a very full week, and you go to start on your first task, even though your inbox is overflowing. And as you start on that task, you get a phone call. You answer the phone and you notice that you have a text message. And you have a deadline approaching, but someone just walked in the room to talk to you. So you now have 5 different things asking for your attention. Before you know it, a half an hour has gone by, you have not gotten the first task done, and you feel stressed out. I would guess that some part of that scenario feels familiar to most of us, because in many ways, our modern day lifestyle, both at work and at home, does not encourage or promote mindfulness. We have smartphones, smartwatches, and laptops, and very, very full schedules and to-do lists. And our attention is constantly being pulled in 17 different directions. This is really, really taxing on our nervous systems and can lead to a chronic state of stress, both in our bodies and in our minds. And when we multitask, we know that we tend to make mistakes. When we're overwhelmed, we lose focus because there seem to be too many tasks to do. And then when we're under pressure, we can take it out on the people around us. So having an awareness of how we're doing, what we're thinking about, and what we're doing can help shift all of this. And this awareness is mindfulness. So if you'd like to do a deeper dive into how mindfulness can help you and your team, please reach out to me about the Live and Work Mindfully program. This is a 4-week series done over 4 consecutive weeks where I come and teach you and your team how to start to incorporate the basic principles of mindfulness into your life, both at work and at home, so that all of us are moving through life feeling less stressed out.
Thanks, Jen. So we have a couple of tips this week, and on Mondays, Jen leads the Mindfulness Monday exercise. So as a manager for yourself, you might want to join that. For your team, you could ask Jen through the system to come and lead Live and Work Mindfully, which is a series. There's also some one-time exercises that Jen can come and lead with your team. We're going to continue on this path next week when Jen actually leads us in a meditation. We talk about a specific form of mindfulness, because mindfulness can be practiced in a lot of different ways. Later today after work, I'm going to practice yoga, and hopefully that's going to help give me a mindful experience and help me focus on my muscles. Next slide, please. Don't forget all of our other well-being resources. We have access to the Calm. If you choose to register for the Calm app, you need to use your Johns Hopkins email address. And that's it. We are under 10 minutes this week.